And welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today I'm going to show you how to diagnose a no crank, no start. Now this car here is an older car. This is a Crown Vic with a 4.6 liter engine. But as you know, this 4.6 liter engine has been around for a long time. So I'm going to show you how to diagnose if it's the starter, if it's the battery, a bad cable, or what the problem is before you go ahead and replace anything. So alright, let me show you what it does and then we'll continue. I hope you can hear that. Now the first thing you would normally do, if you have a car that doesn't start like that, the first thing you would do is take a look at your interior light. Now if you turn the key and that interior light goes out, then we know we have a problem with the battery or the cable or something like that. So let's try it and see. You don't see any change in that at all. So we know that the cables are not the issue. And we know that the battery is not the issue. Alright, so let's go up underneath the hood and we're going to continue up there. Okay, so now what we're going to do now is a couple things you can do. If you have a test light, use a test light. If you don't have a test light, I always use the power probe because you can actually check power and ground at the same time. So we're going to connect these up to the battery itself, and then we're going to go down underneath the car, down by the starter motor while my assistant tries to start it. We're going to see if we have power to the main lead, and also if we have power to the start wire when my assistant tries to start the car. If we have power and we have ground and we have power to the start wire and it's not starting, the start is no good. If we don't have power to the start wire, then we know that there's a problem with the starter switch or relay or whatever. A common problem with these starters too is the wire that leads from the back of the starter, from the main lead coming in. You have the power lead that comes into to the top of the solenoid, and there's a little jumper wire that goes from the solenoid down into the starter itself. Those wires for some reason corrode and they rot off, and you know, it's an issue right there. But let's take a look at it. We're getting ahead of ourselves, so let's lift it up and we'll continue. But let's connect our power probe up first. What's nice about power probe is they actually have a light in there too, so you can see a little bit. Alright, let's lift it up and we'll continue up underneath the bottom. This lead here is the main lead coming down from the battery. We need to check to see if we have power at that lead right there. This lead here is the start side of the starter. That's like a little 8mm or 5/16. We have to check when the key is turned to the start position. We need to see if we have power to that wire right there. If we have power here, and we have power here in the start position, then we know that the starter is no good. So, alright, so that's what we're going to do now. What I'm going to do is this cover, this is actually the original starter in this car, so we're just going to get this cover off of here. Don't lose it because we're going to put this back on, and you can see already, see how it's oxidized? Remember I was telling you about that wire up there? Let's see what that looks like. Okay. It doesn't matter because the starter's no good anyway, but you see that wire right there? See all that oxidation on there? Those wires frequently break off, and that's the problem right there. So, alright, let's check power and ground first, and we'll see how it goes. So if there's power here, then we know that that it has power to the starter, which it does. It's got power there. See? You have power there. Alright, now this is the start wire. We should have negative through here. Let me just get on it. Okay, you can see we have negative right here. It's actually, it's green. Green means that there's negative in there. And when it's energized and you try to start it, it should turn red, just like that. All right, so, okay, up there. All right, try it once. Try it again. Okay. Okay, thank you. Turn the key off. Okay, as you can see, it has power and it has ground, this starter is no good. All right, well, we're going to take the starter out now. And the way we're going to take the starter out is, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a bolt here. It's a 10 millimeter here, up there, and then maybe one more 10 millimeter up on top. But before we do anything, we're going to lower this down, and we're going to disconnect the battery. The first thing we're going to do is going to take off that lead right there. That's the main power lead. Now remember, we have our battery is disconnected. Just going to put that up out of the way for now. We're going to disconnect this wire right here. That's a 10 millimeter. Felt like it was gonna. Alright, so we're just going to take these wires now. We're just going to relocate them out of the way so that they don't interfere with what we're doing there. They're pretty oxidized. Okay. Alright, that's one. The other one up here, we're going to have to get in there with an extension to get to it. Okay. All right, remember we talked about that wire that frays all the time? Look at this. It's not all the way through. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it is all the way through. There it is. That's the wire that's actually broken. And the power comes through the solenoid here. The start side energizes the solenoid to bring power down to here. Power comes through here, right there, and then down into the starter motor. And that's what happened to it. So, all right, let me make a phone call. We'll get the starter and we'll continue. Okay, just got the starter motor, and I just want to show this to you. You see this? See how this is broken? Look at this one. Look at how thick that is. Right? So this is very common. It happens a lot. All right, but that's it. Oh, and it didn't matter if that other wire broke off anyway, because I got to cut it, and I got to splice it together or use the heat shrink tubing on it so that we don't have any issues with the start wire. They must have run into a problem with it, so they supply a start wire, and we're going to snip the old one, and we're going to crimp it in here, and then we'll heat shrink that tubing. We're just going to leave it sit there for 1 second. We're going to catch each one of the 3 bolts loosely by hand. You can see that I have never seize on there, or anti-seize, whatever you want to call it, because it's actually going to make it go in a little bit easier, because the trans we're screwing into is a little bit oxidized. We're going to tighten on the main lead first, just like that. We're going to catch that on by hand. Now this one here, you want to be careful and not tighten it too tight, because if you tighten it too tight, you can break the stud. So we're just going to snug it down a little bit, and then just go a little bit more. And I was holding the wire up on my hand up here, just so it doesn't rotate. Let me see if I can get it. Okay, I just hold this wire right here while I tighten that bolt, just so it doesn't rotate. Now this, we are going to cut this and splice it together. So let me get my cutting pliers and we'll do that. Okay, so we are going to snip this end right here, just like that. We're going to strip back our wires a little bit. You can strip it back any way you want to. I'm just going to cut the tape off. This. Make sure it goes in all the way. And then we're going to take our crimpers and we're going to crimp that wire in place. Just like that. Make sure it's a good tight connection. And then we're going to get our heat gun. We're going to heat this up a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to use something else. I'm just going to heat this with a cigarette lighter versus using a heat gun. I'm in a hurry to get this done. It's now 7:30 and we open up at 7:30, so I want to get my doors open here. And you can see the heat shrink tubing shrinks down and causes a good seal on it, so that's it. Alright, so let's just go over what we did. And then we're going to open up. And then once we open up, we'll come back in and we'll put the battery back on and get it started. Okay, so we made sure that all three of our bolts here are tight. We connected on our main lead right here, and we made sure the main lead is not touching anywhere up inside here. This is our new start wire. It's crimped and heat shrink back together, and that's it. So let's lower it down, connect the battery up, and start it up. Okay, now that we got it back down on the ground, we're going to reconnect our battery cable. Remember, it's always a good idea to disconnect the negative cable versus the positive cable. Now, as I told you, this battery is brand new, so if you had any oxidation at this point, you would want to clean it up. But as you can see, this one here is in good condition. I'm just going to tighten it up. Okay, now we did our job correctly. This should start right up. Let's fire it up. Okay. All right, come on up. Let's talk for a second. So that's it. Let's turn this off as well. Okay. I love these lights. These things take a beating and beautiful. Made by OTC Spectrum lights. All right, that's it. You're all set. All right, this job is finished out the door, and it's not even 8 o'clock. It's about 7:45 right now. So this one's out, next one's in. So we'll see what today holds for us and what I can film. All right, remember, if you get in the car, you turn the key and you have nothing at all, no crank whatsoever, you want to definitely do a couple of things checking it before. This guy went and bought a battery. He probably paid 150 bucks for a battery. That was nothing wrong with it. I don't know how much he paid for it, but I'm just speculating. So before you change anything, check it out thoroughly first. Get yourself a test light, get yourself a power probe, get yourself a voltmeter, check the voltage on the battery first. And remember what I told you about the interior light? You turn the key on, you try to crank it, the interior light stays bright and it does not go dim. That means that you have a good connection on the battery, and you also have a fairly decent battery. And again, you'll check it with the voltmeter just to confirm that. If you turn the key and the interior light goes out or turns almost totally dead, if it's almost totally dead, your battery is probably no good, or you have an issue with the wiring by the battery itself, or a bad connection or whatever. You know, if that does happen, then you'll need to do a little more checking to see what's going on with that. And then just follow the procedure I showed you for diagnosing the starter with the test light or the power probe. And you will need an assistant to actually help you from the inside of the car to check right here, that start wire. Remember, if you have power here and you have power here when you turn the key to the on position to start it, then you know that the starter itself is no good. Sometimes when you have a bad starter, I don't have a hammer in front of me right here, but you can, sometimes when you have a bad starter, you can have someone hold the key in the car in the on position and tap the starter here lightly, and sometimes you can get it to start. In this case, you could tap it all you want. It's not going to make any difference. That positive lead right here was rotted right off, and that was the issue with this starter. Power here, but it would not transmit the power into the starter itself. All right, so that's it. Out the door and on to the next one. All right, as always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.